Here we see two scalpel knives with barred Parker handles and interchangeable blades. The handle on the right is number 4 handle for larger blades, and the one on the left is number 3 handle used with smaller blades. These are the large blades numbered from 20 to 24, used for skin incisions. They are used with number 4 handle. The handles with odd numbers 3, 5 and 7 are used with the smaller blades. The number 11 blade or stab knife is for incision of abscesses. Number 12 blade curved concave on the sharp edge is used for tonsillectomy, and number 10 and 15 blades are used for delicate work, especially in pediatric and plastic surgery. This is a dissecting forceps with a tooth at the tip. Tooth dissecting forceps is used for holding skin, fascia and other tough structures. It has a firm grip. Plain or non-toothed forceps with transversely serrated tip is used for abdominal viscera like intestines. This is a surgical scissors or Mayo's scissors. It is long, blunt tipped and curved on flat. Compared with the Mayo scissors, this is a stout scissors for tough structures. This is a small scissors for venesection. This is a stitch cutting scissors to remove skin stitches. This is Lister's bandage scissors to cut bandages while its tip protects the skin. And this is long scissors to work at depth as in chest or pelvis. Now let us have close-up views. This is a stout scissors. These are venesection scissors. This is a dressing scissors to cut threads and dressings. This is stitch cutting scissors, and this is Lister's bandage scissors. This is a hemostat, often termed as artery forceps or Kelly's forceps. It is used for catching vessels, pedicles, fascia, peritoneum, and ends of threads. It has two handles, a box joint, and two blades. The handles have finger bows and a catch, and the blades have serrations and are straight or curved. This is a half serrated curved hemostat. This is a fully serrated curved hemostat. This is a fully serrated straight hemostat, and this is half serrated straight hemostat. Here we see a standard 6-inch hemostat at the top. At the bottom is a small hemostat or mosquito forceps used in delicate operations like circumcision, and in the center is the tonsillar hemostat, long, curved with half serrated tip. This is a Spencer Wells hemostat with a peculiar fish-like shape of the fully serrated blades. This is a Cocker's pedicle clamp. Note its stout and fully serrated blades with a tooth at the tip to prevent slipping of the pedicle. This is a mixture forceps for dissection and going around deep structures like vagus nerve in vagotomy. Note the tip of the blade curved almost to 90 degrees with transverse serrations. This is a needle holder with a long handle and a very short blade. The blade has transverse or crisscross serrations and a deep notch to grip the curved needles. Note how it grips the curved needle without altering its curve. Needles are straight or curved in different sizes. They may be round-bodied or have a triangular cutting tip. They have an eye to thread the suture or are eyeless with a fixed suture. This is a sponge holding forceps. It has a broad fenestrated tip which is used with a folded gauze for blunt dissection and mopping at depth. This is a sinus forceps used for opening an abscess or for packing cavities. It has no catch and the tip is slightly bulbous with transverse serrations. This is a scoop. It is spoon shaped with a sharp edge and is used for scraping granulations or abscess cavities. It may be double-ended with two different sized scoops. These are tissue holding forceps, Alice's on the left, Babcock's in the center, and lanes on the right. Now we shall study their tips in details. This is Babcock's tissue forceps with fenestrated tip having transverse serrations which grips the tissues with minimum trauma and is used for viscera like intestines, appendix, gallbladder, fallopian tubes, lymph nodes, etc. This is Alice's tissue forceps with sharp, small interlocking teeth used for tough tissues like rectus sheath and fibrous capsules. And this is Lane's tissue forceps which has a very strong but traumatic grip used when strong traction is required. These are two commonly used varieties of towel clips used to fix drapes in position. This is Doyen's cross-action towel clip and this is Backhaw's towel clip. Now coming to retractors. These are hook retractors. The central one has a double hook at the other end. These are cat's paw retractors. These are right-angled retractors. These are C-shaped retractors. This is a S-shaped retractor. And this is a Czerny's retractor with a right-angled plate on one side and two prongs on the other side, which can display the structure being retracted. These are all superficial retractors for subcutaneous layers and muscles. Now we will come to deep retractors. This is Doyen's abdominal wall retractor used to retract the abdominal wall after opening the peritoneum. Note its peculiar curve. This is Morrison's kidney retractor to retract thick back muscles in kidney incision. Note its transversely concave and polished stout blade. This is Deaver's liver retractor for retracting liver during suturing of duodenal ulcer perforation, vagotomy or cholecystectomy. This is a self-retaining mastoid retractor used over the scalp during burr-hole, mastoidectomy, etc. Note the catch which makes it self-retaining. It also everts the scalp edges and controls bleeding. This is a self-retaining abdominal wall retractor. It has two fenestrated lateral blades which remain fixed when stretched and a third blade shaped like Doyen's retractor. This is the commonly used Yanku's suction tip. Note its peculiar curve to avoid obstructing the surgeon's vision and the blunt cap with 5 holes. This is a small suction tip for delicate work like ear or nose surgery. There is a hole on the handle to control the force of suction with the finger, and a very mild suction is obtained if the hole is open. And this is the multi-perforated suction tip for peritoneal cavity, as it does not get blocked by omentum and intestines. As seen on the left, it has a multi-perforated outer sheath and a separate inner suction tube.